Very happy to have Dana White back in the studio.
Maybe not.
We just caught up with Dana, and he just gave us amazing shit. So I guess we don't have to do the interview. Oh, it was a read?
Yeah. Oh, well, we're back anyway.
Was that a read?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. Who was it for?
It was for the fine folks of Dish Network.
Yeah, people know about Dish. Good enough. Good enough to hop and go get it.
Don't worry about
blah, blah.
so much.
We'll make good on that one. Dana hasn't been in studio in a while. You've been on the phone a bunch of times, and I was telling Dana off air, and I want to say it on air, that every fighter that has come through here they've all been great for us. Just great. So you're doing something right, because I'll say it, baseball players in general, they're assholes. We've never had a good time with baseball players, but every single UFC guy comes in here, gives it their all, gives us great radio every single time.
Well, you know what? It's funny, because when we got into this sport, we fell in love with the sport, and then as we started to meet the athletes, I mean, that was really what sealed the deal for us. They really are good people.
They're all gentlemen.
They are, and they're great. They're great people to be around. They really are.
Right.
The funny thing is there's so many misconceptions about the guys, in the old days. But when you meet them, you would never expect these guys.
Not at all. They're great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're aware that they can rip our heads off, but
right.
Besides that, they're unbelievable.
The last time I saw you was I went to the Silva fight, and I saw you there, and what a fucking. I've never been so shocked in my life at what happened.
Crazy,
It was. You think you can't be surprised by anything? And I literally stood there with my fucking mouth open.
But we were talking about that before the show, too, because someone was in here and said a lot of the fighters said that he had a shot against Silva.
Well, Chael had said that to me.
Right. Oh, you were the one who said
Yeah.
Okay, right. But you said that Chael said a bunch of the other fighters were also saying, don't assume that Silva's got this.
Chael said that to me. We saw each other in the restroom, and after complimenting each other like men will do, I said, I was like, "What do you think?" And he goes, "I'm picking Weidman." And he goes, "And a lot of the fighters are picking Weidman."
Right.
And I had asked Dana about that. I said like, "Hey, Chael," I said that a lot of the fighters are picking Weidman. Now, do you think they're picking him, or is that like? And what I was saying was, do you think that these are guys who have lost to him or don't like him, just kind of want to see? I was wondering if it was more wishful thinking than anything. You thought I had heard about some internet conspiracy thing, which I had not heard. But
right.
I was surprised that all these fighters were picking him. And I'm like, do they just hate Silva and want to see him lose, or they really believed it?
Yeah, no, people were saying, because as the lead up for that fight and all these fighters were picking him, he came back into my locker room that night, and he's like, "Come on." He's like, "I mean, all these guys are saying that." He thought, I thought you were saying that, like, we were telling fighters to say, Anderson Silva would win the fight.
Right.
But no, I mean, we don't tell anybody to say that. They pick what they pick.
Wow. Yeah. See, I was like, because I heard it from Chael, who I like, but I'm like, Chael has a thing for Silva. I'm like, I wonder if that's just guys wanting to see him fall because they're sick and tired. Like, you know what I mean? If I see a comic who's I know is good I'm like, if he bombs, I'm so fucking happy. Like, I wonder if that's the same. But man, they knew something, because Faber had picked, I think Weidman, a lot of guys picked.
And you don't think Silva's done, right?
No.
Yeah, he's got a few more.
Yeah, the rematch is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Obviously, I think if Weidman wins the rematch, maybe Anderson would retire, but who knows?
You got to do a Don King and make sure Weidman loses the second fight, so you get the third fight.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't even start that. That's what everybody. That'll be the next thing. Yeah.
It's a no lose for the UFC in the weird way that, like, if Weidman wins,
everyone's going to be watching.
He's legendary, and if Anderson wins, then it's like, okay, A, you got a third fight, and B, it's like, oh, okay, he was.
You truly don't need the third fight. It would be, if it happens, it happens. But everyone's going to be watching the rematch. It's already set up all nice.
Yeah, and you talk about a third fight depending on how the fight goes. You know what I mean? It's like everybody. Anderson Silva's 38 years old. A lot of people don't realize that. But if he went out there and looked like, he just showed up and was old all of a sudden, it'd be one thing. But he didn't look old. It's the way that he lost. Yeah. He was out there goofing around. Like, wasn't that crazy in the arena that night? Like, at first, when he got knocked out, the whole place was in shock. Like he said, everybody was sitting there with, and then the place just went crazy.
Well, I started, I love Anderson Silva, and as I'm watching it, and he's doing that, it looked like fucking, when Weidman had him on the ground in the beginning, it looked like he was, I guess I'm going to guess a heel hook or whatever he was going for, and I'm like, Silva might be in trouble early. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, don't listen to him. I was yelling to Weidman, don't listen. He's in your fucking head. I was getting annoyed at Silva for taunting him. I'm like, man, you better take this guy seriously.
Silva's always been great at that. I love that about
Roy
him.
Jones Jr. jumped up after the first round and started screaming at me, this fight's over. He's in his head. It's over.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah, and then that second round came out. People were going crazy during that fight. Like, all the people that were on the side of the cage there were going nuts.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. I rooted for Weidman in that moment because I got so annoyed at Silva for doing that. I'm like, what are you doing, man? This guy's a real fucking problem.
Yeah, I think everybody did. I mean, even Brazilians that were booing him on the way in were cheering him on the way out.
Wow,
you know?
no kidding.
Do you think that's humiliating for Silva to lose that way? Like,
Yeah,
not just to get beaten by a guy, but to be clowning around like that.
Of course it is,
Yeah,
right?
that's humiliating to lose. Period. That way. I mean, when you've never lost and you're the best in the world and you get knocked out, yeah, it's always that always sucks. It's never
No
fun.
shit.
That's a tough sleep.
So why did he say no rematch at first, and then like a week later or whatever, he signs on?
You know, I've dealt with this a lot with guys, especially Anderson Silva forgot what it's like to lose. So right when it's over, you're like, yeah, whatever, and then it sinks in and reality sets in over the next few days. And I met with him. He fought Saturday. I met with him again on Thursday, and he was very ready to fight again.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to go out that way.
No way.
No way. You got to go and give it another shot. I was asking Dana off air about A-Rod. And he started telling me a pretty great story. And I said, stop. I want to hear the rest of it on air. I just asked you about A-Rod and what's going on with him, and then you said that he's like, what? I didn't want to put words in your mouth.
I said A-Rod's my man. He always will be, man.
Yeah.
And I'm a Red Sox fan. It's not a Yankees thing, but I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease, which is basically nerve damage to your inner ear.
How do you get that? Are you just born with it?
No, you get it from being punched. You get it from being punched. You get it from a lot of cops and military guys get it from shooting and the loud noise from shooting. A lot of rock stars get it, and guys that are in bands get it. It's basically you do damage to that nerve, and what it does is the nerve starts telling the brain that you're moving when you're not. And when you get these attacks, you literally, I'm telling you, you go down like you got shot by a fucking sniper, man. It's crazy. You go
feel
down.
Nauseous or how
you puke. You puke. If you don't close your eyes and get in a dark room, you will puke your brains out.
Oh, is it like being like a dizzy feeling?
Yeah, no, it's vertical. You start spinning. The room starts spinning.
Oh my God, radio guys!
Like your
get this,
worst.
I betcha. I'm turning down my headphones.
The worst. It's the worst thing you could ever imagine. A lot of people commit suicide to get it.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, it's real bad. So there's no cure for it. There's no cure. They try to do things. There's a surgery where they can put a stent in there, and I did that surgery.
We saw the video.
Yeah.
That video was horrific.
There's a surgery where they
What?
go. It's basically brain surgery, is what it is. They drill through your skull, get inside there, and they insert this tube. And there's another one where they go even deeper, and they cut the nerve itself, and you have to learn how to walk again.
Jeez.
After they cut that nerve.
Oh my God! Now they didn't cut the nerve for you.
No, I didn't cut the nerve. I went for the stent, and it actually made me worse. I went from having attacks every once in a while to having attacks every day, and then it also gave me tinnitus. And tinnitus is the constant loud ringing of the ear. Your ear just rings really loud all the time.
I had that. That's terrible. I've gotten that. I've gotten the woozy thing too.
Really?
I've definitely gotten that. Where
When sober?
Oh no! See, no, it was from constantly drinking. Wait a minute.
Sorry.
No, I've gotten that before where. I'll be working on something, working on some equipment in the downstairs, and I'll have to go like this, maybe turn sideways, and totally disoriented, where you're completely still around. You got to shut your eyes, go look up, straighten your head out, and then it's gone. But not totally gone, just still a little woozy.
That could be, symptoms of it coming out. How long ago? When's the last time you had? Listen to me talking to him like I'm a doctor. So when was the last time you had these things?
This happened for years and years and years, on and off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's terrible.
It could be, but when you get this, you're down for hours. Some people are down for days sometimes.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, when I would get an attack, I'd be down for 9-10 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
At what point after surgery did you realize, oh my God, it didn't work? Like, how long did it take you to realize, fuck, it made it worse?
A couple months.
Oh, a while later, okay.
Yeah, well, no, I knew I was, because after that surgery, you recovering from that is brutal. I was still, I literally did that surgery, flew home the next morning, and then flew to Chicago for the UFC on Fox Chicago fight. So I kept right on going.
Well, you hit it pretty well because your work ethic everyone knows about. So I can't imagine you being down and out for 9 hours.
I was toughing through it. But my life, the year after that happened to me, my life was so different. I literally couldn't do anything, man. I was just down and out. I didn't work out for over a year.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, it was driving me crazy. So I was literally at the point where I'd just given up, and I said, this is going to be the rest of my life. This is my life now.
Brutal.
You know, my quality of life is over. It's just not ever going to be what it was before. So I get a call from A-Rod, and Kobe Bryant had sent him out to Dusseldorf, Germany. His knee and back. They do this stuff out there where they take your blood and they do what's called spinning. And I'm no doctor, so I can't really explain exactly what they do, but they take your blood, they incubate it, they spin it, and then they inject it back into you 10 hours later. And I got the injection on Sunday. I flew back to Vegas from Germany, and that was Sunday. I landed, I went to bed, got up, I had to fly to Stanford. I spoke at their business school on Monday, you know, and I didn't really feel any different. Flew back home, worked a little, went to bed, woke up Tuesday morning, and felt like fucking Superman. Jesus. I'm not kidding you, man. I felt like I could fly to work. I could have flew to work that Tuesday. And from that day on to right now, my life has been exactly the same as it was before I had the surgery.
How long ago was this that you got it, the final?
I've had, so what happens is when you fly out there,
Wow.
They take so much blood. It's funny because they're sitting there and they're like, do you have a problem, you know, giving blood or whatever? I said, no, it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm sitting there, the girl sticks the needle in me. I'm like, God damn, that hurt. This chick doesn't know what she's doing. I look down, they got a Slurpee straw in my friggin' arm.
Holy
the needle
shit.
is so big and the blood just flies out of your arm. And they literally fill up 3 Fiji bottles, you know, that size.
Right,
you know,
right.
Full of blood. And it literally takes, you know, 30 seconds to fill this whole thing up. They bandage your arm up. I had a huge bruise. This whole inside of my arm became, you know, yellow, black, and blue and purple, you know. And you know, then you go hang out in your hotel, kick around Dusseldorf, Germany for 10 hours, and you go back and they give you the shot. And
wait, now they incubate some of your blood, obviously not all of it, but they just take that much of your blood and they incubate it and they do something to it.
All of it, because they end up making, with the blood they take, they end up making 2 shots.
It concentrates down to a certain
to 2 little shots,
to 2 shots,
super shots.
Man.
Yeah.
And what's in those shots? Just your blood?
Yeah, your blood and. I can't remember what it's called. I'll get you the book.
Yeah,
I'll get you the book so you can check it out. But
because now Jimmy wants his done.
Well, here's the thing. The thing is, here's their philosophy out there, is that as we get older, everything that we have, including some of these diseases that are out there, like Parkinson's and other things, are due to inflammation. Inflammation is what starts to break us down, from arthritis to joint pain to even, they said, what was giving me the attacks with the nerve was inflammation. Inflammation starts to get the nerve irritated. Jeez. And it's just, I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. So the crazy part about this is you have to be referred to these guys. You can't just go out there. You have to be referred. So A-Rod refers me. I fly out there, and my life's been different ever since. It's unbelievable, right?
So you didn't have to go back, right? It was that one trip?
I flew back. I went back twice. I flew back 3 months later and got the second shot. So I did 2 shots. I did the first one, flew back 3 months later, and got the second one.
Oh, when they incubate it down to 2 shots, and they hold one for 3 months?
Exactly.
Oh, they don't give you both.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the blood that they do is good for 6 months. Mm-hmm. So you got 6 months to get back there to get the second shot. I felt so good. I said, fuck it. I'm going out there. I was going to fly back the next week and do it. So I went out there and got it done. And the funny part of this story is, you know, when you look at who they've helped, that, you know, George Clooney apparently couldn't lift his shoulders up over his head. Clooney's been out there. Pope John Paul couldn't kneel anymore, so Pope John Paul did it, and it started you know, he had Parkinson's disease, and I guess they get tremors or whatever their attacks are. He was having no attacks before he passed away eventually. And then you know, golfers. Kevin Durant from OKC, every soccer player out in Europe, and the list goes on of all these people that they
all
do.
Believe. Wow.
So you think about healthcare here in the United States, right? And you know, all they want to do here is cut you and put you on pills. They don't really fix anything. They just sort of mask all the problems. These guys are out there actually curing people in Germany. The level of medicine there and the level of medicine here is night and day.
Why don't they bring it to the States?
It's illegal here. I have no idea.
I know.
Why?
If it's working for people.
Here's the craziest part. Let me get to this part, right? So Clooney, all these actors and actresses and athletes and all these people, the one thing I never asked is, how much does this cost? Right? Sure. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to get out there, and if this thing was going to work for me, I'm in, right? So I get out there, and the other thing, the attention, you get there, the first day you get there, they do this full MRI of your body, your brain, your spine, everything, and the doctor literally sits with you and goes organ by organ and tells you, what's going on with you, and looks at all your stuff. And then I went in and saw an ear, nose, and throat specialist. Then I saw the doctor who does the actual blood work. And I must have saw 4 doctors, and they spent hours with me over a 2-day period.
Oh, man.
Right? Yeah. So you're thinking, holy shit. So finally he goes through the whole last thing, and they're about to take my blood, and he says, any other questions? And I'm like, yeah.
How much does this cost?
What's this going to cost? And he goes, we'll take care of that at the end. I go, I'm kind of curious and would like to know right now. So he says, hold on. He goes in the other room, comes back, 7,500 euros.
That's it?
That's 10 grand.
Yeah.
7,500 euros.
Wow. That's not.
So this isn't something that it's only for the super wealthy can go there and get them. Anybody could do it. Especially anybody who has Meniere's disease. Only people who have Meniere's disease know what it's like to go through it. And anybody would come up with 10 grand. If you had to take a loan out to go get your life back, you would do it. And then, they're helping people with Parkinson's. The first guy I called when I landed in the States was Freddie Roach. I told Freddie Roach, Freddie, I'm telling you, go try this thing, man. I don't know if he's done it, but I set him up to do it. I don't know if he has.
So have you had an attack since?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Wow, that's
I am healed, man. I'm like 100%. My life, and that whole time that I was going through it, you can't eat salt. You're not allowed to drink alcohol. There's a lot of things that will aggravate it. I've been eating salt and drinking plenty of alcohol, and I'm good.
One last question: do you have to go back to keep it up, or you're good?
Yeah. Well, what they said is, obviously, ride this thing. First of all, when I went there, they didn't know if it would help me or not. There wasn't like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to help you.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't know if it would or not, and they said, but I'll tell you what, we'll give this thing a shot. We'll see how it goes. And they said people that they had done who had Meniere's disease had less than one attack a month after doing this thing. So they don't give you any guarantees. They don't say, oh, this is the magic pill. Yeah. Spend your 7,500 euros and this is going to work.
Good for you,
we have no idea. We'll see.
Good for you.
But after your second treatment, do they say, like you said, the first one, they say, okay, you got to come back in 3 months. But after that second one, is there a time frame where they say, now we see how it goes?
Now we play it by ear.
Just ride it out.
If anything starts to happen to you again, call us. We'll get you back in and we'll do it again.
And how much time since your second one?
It's been a while now. I don't know how long. Oh, no. It's been 7 or 8 months.
So if worst case scenario, if you got to go once or twice a year, you've gotten your life for once or twice a year.
No doubt about it.
Pretty fucking amazing.
It's amazing.
And it's annoying that they won't do it here. There's probably some garbage FDA excuse because, like you said, they want to keep you on pills. And if this is wiping stuff out.
Not only that, and you can blame the FDA, but you also got to blame all the fucking litigious United States that we have. So the FDA passes this through, it goes through, somebody sues, and now, it's all about that. So they need every little stamp of approval from the FDA so they don't.
So go to Germany, enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
It's true. It's true, man.
Plan a little trip.
This place is open 7 days a week. They said weekends it's just packed with Americans.
Really?
Well, everyone is calling. They're like, give us the website, the place.
That's amazing.
Everyone wants to book a trip.
I do. Well, you got to be referred for this one.
Yeah, you have to be referred to them. Yeah.
And that's the only place in the world they do it?
That's the only place I know of, and that's where everybody's going. And there's places here in the United States because people have said, oh, they do the same thing in the United States. No, they don't. Trust me. It's not the same. You think, all these actors and athletes are flying to Dusseldorf, Germany because they're doing the same thing here in the United States?
Go to Beverly Hills somewhere.
Not even close. Happening. But that's what they're doing. So what's happening now is this place in Germany is opening all these places. They have a place in Beverly Hills. So you go to the place in Beverly Hills, they do all the testing there. They test you, they do all the MRIs, and then they fly you to Dusseldorf to do the shots. So you don't have to do all that stuff there.
Did Kobe and A-Rod get this done? For their injuries?
Yeah, tons of guys have.
And did it make A-Rod hit the ball better?
Well, no, it's not about hitting the ball better. It's about his knee and his back were messed up.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what these guys specialize in. That's what they really do. They're joint and bones and things like that is what they do.
In general.
Yeah, But as they continue to do more studies, they're finding out that inflammation is the cause to a lot of our problems as we get older.
So how do we knock down our inflammation?
You fly to Dusseldorf.
But there's nothing else we could do with supplements or anything else we could do now?
I don't think so.
It's
part of the human structure as we start to get older.
Yep.
Right.
That's what happens to us. We start to.
Wow.
I'm emotionally inflamed.
Yeah, Rogan's going. Rogan's got back problems, and Rogan's going out there. I got him set up.
It works on apes.
He's trying to have the hair on. He wants to have his arms raised. Keep human length. The fucking savage. I watch him walk around with his chain wallet, and I'm like, am I competing genetically with him to procreate?
I know.
Horrifying.
Fucking Joe is the best, man.
We love Joe, man.
Totally.
Oh,
he's
a
fucking great.
I'm seeing him doing his podcast.
You see his show now? His show just aired
with the Bigfoot
last Wednesday Thursday, right? Is it Thursday night?
I want to
on Sci-Fi. 1.3 million viewers. His first episode. Yeah,
a lot of UFC people.
So his second episode airs this week.
Yeah, he's a blast.
And he raises he's a really good talker. Like I listen to his podcast or when he calls it. And phoners are hard to do, and Joe is just a good talker about whatever you want to discuss. He's really great on the phone. And
absolutely.
When I say good talker, I don't mean good bullshitter. I mean he's just a great conversationalist.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to me, who just stopped the show by making really an unimportant observation.
You'll have fun with his podcast.
I love his podcast.
He's going to try to get you high, though.
Nah, he knows I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's going to try, though.
He did it to me.
He did it to me too.
Really?
First time in I couldn't even tell you 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
And he's blowing smoke in my face, and I finally took a baby hit. I'm not gonna overplay this. I took a baby hit, but it set me off. I was like, wow, this isn't bad. I don't mind this.
What do you like high? I can't picture Dana White high.
I don't know. I'm never high. He was trying. He says, "I have the cure for your Meniere's disease right here."
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to make me feel wonderful.
So you got the big press conference at 1:00 today, man.
Yeah.
Is all those guys going to be there?
Yeah. We yesterday we were in LA yesterday afternoon, and basically we're doing this world tour because never in the history since we've owned the UFC has the end of the year been so badass. This Saturday night on pay-per-view is the Korean Zombie versus Jose Aldo. That fight. That's going to be a great fight.
Where's that taking place?
Down in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Then we got Ben Henderson. Coming up after that is at the end of August is Ben Henderson versus Anthony Pettis. Then we have Jones versus Gustafsson. And the big beef with Jones is that he's too big for the 205-pound division. It's unfair. He's too big. He's this, he's that. Gustafsson's an inch bigger than he is.
Wow.
So there you go.
Jeez.
Then in October we have the best trilogy we've ever had in UFC history with Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. And when I say that, Cain Velasquez got knocked out in the first round by Junior Dos Santos in the first fight. Cain annihilated Junior Dos Santos in that second fight, and now here comes the third fight.
Although I'll say for that second fight, I was amazed because I think Cain won 5 rounds to none. I really was amazed that Junior did not get knocked out.
And took that punishment.
Tough dude, man.
He looked like an alien after that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked like I would have looked after Cain beat him up. But he did not get knocked out, and it went the distance, which I was amazed at.
Yeah.
Wow,
then
man.
November, we have Johnny Hendricks versus George St. Pierre, which many people believe is like the Anderson Silva fight, that Johnny Hendricks is the guy who could actually end the reign of George St. Pierre. And then to end the year in December, we have the rematch with Weidman and Anderson Silva, and the co-main event of that is Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate. So
Jesus.
we literally took all these guys on the road, and we're doing this world tour with them. And basically, because my philosophy has always been, everybody wants to watch a great fight, but you got to know the great fight's on. So normally we just go from fight to fight to fight. So we're doing this world tour with all these champions and all these big fights to end the year, and then we'll start promoting them one by one as they start to come.
You had a good night on Fox, I thought, too, with fucking Demetrius.
How awesome was that fight?
Those fucking flyweights are just
so
unbelievably
fun.
entertaining.
Yeah, and how about he broke the record. That was the latest finish ever in a title fight in UFC history. So
how much time was in the 5th round?
There
How
was
much time
a
was
minute
left?
something left, and he had just got his nose blasted in the 4th round. You see that? His nose was just smashed, and he could have just rode out that 5th round. He goes for an arm bar with a guy who's super dangerous, and and getting in that position with a minute something left is pretty ballsy.
Wow.
Yeah, so he pulls off the submission.
And the Rory McDonald fight, who I love Rory McDonald because I truly think he looks like a psychopath. He's a frightening guy. And him against Jake was not, it wasn't the most exciting fight, but it was like Rogan pointed out, because two guys were being a little overcautious and respecting each other too much. Neither one wanted to commit and get fucking pummeled.
See, I disagree with that. What happened that night was Ellenberger wasn't on. He didn't do anything to try to win that fight. He threw 5 punches in the first 2 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the third round, he tried to push it a little bit more. He didn't do anything, and then Rory didn't do anything to try to take advantage of the fact that Ellenberger basically didn't show up that night.
Do you think Rory was just trying to outpoint him, knowing he had the fight?
Yeah, he knew he could stay on the outside and pick him apart and win an easy fight, and that shit drives me crazy.
Oh yeah,
do you think Hendricks has, I know Johnny, it's like I like him. He's a big fucking left hand. But it seems like against St. Pierre, man, it's almost like when you get into the thing where you have one thing that everybody looks for, which is like Dan Henderson, as great as he is, has that right hand that everybody looks for, or Fedor had that big right. It seems like it's hard for those guys to become champion because everybody, like with Roy Nelson recently. Yeah. That giant overhand right is coming, and if you can avoid that.
Well, I think the difference in this fight is that the biggest problem that people have with George St. Pierre's is wrestling. And, this kid is a great wrestler. And you remember the Condit fight? The Condit fight was sick.
That was a fucking an amazing fight.
Unbelievable. And that's the way Johnny Hendricks fights. There's going to be, they asked yesterday at the press conference in LA, they asked Johnny Hendricks, well, with this Roy McDonald thing that happened over the weekend, George St. Pierre fights the same exact way. He uses that jab, and his length, what are you going to do about it? And he goes, well, let me tell you what, the difference between, what you saw last Saturday and what you'll see in my fight is I'll take a jab all day long to land that big right hand. You know what I mean? He's saying every time George St. Pierre throws, he's going to blast away. And then if they start wrestling, he's a great wrestler too. So that is a fun fight.
Were you surprised I was very surprised that Nelson lost the way he did. He was outpointed. You can't knock him out. But it just seemed like he was tired and sluggish, and it was like, fuck, I wanted to kind of see him get a title shot. A
lot of times guys who, the guys who beat Roy Nelson all day long are guys who can box. Guys who can stay on their feet and box and those are the type of guys that beat. Remember what Junior Dos Santos did to him? The guys who can box and have good footwork can pick Roy Nelson apart.
Although I do think Cain Velasquez is, with all due respect to Silva, I think Cain Velasquez is the best fighter in the UFC. I mean, because again, he's such a big tank, and his cardio is amazing, and he's fast, and he can wrestle. He's just frightening.
He is. He's the baddest dude in the world.
He really is, right?
Yeah.
Like, after Dos Santos, how about him against? Mark Hunt, I had higher hopes for.
Mike Cunt? Hey, would you blow me?
Do you need to ask, Ant? Or the other, who else did I want to see fight him? Fucking Cormier, Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, Cain Velasquez is one of these guys that when he gets you down on the ground, all he does is just keeps imposing his will and just doing damage, man. He doesn't stop. He just keeps going until he smashes you and you quit.
Well, I think that the fights you have coming up are absolutely amazing, and I'm probably going to go to this thing today.
Are you really?
I think so.
Yeah, it's at the Beacon. You should mention it's at the Beacon Theater. It's open to the public too.
Beacon Theater, and I think
1 o'clock.
Yes, 1 p.m.
The big press conference.
Who's going to be there today? Let me see. It's going to be obviously Dana. John Jones will be there. Kane, St. Pierre, Ronda Rousey, fucking Junior. Alexander Gustafsson, Johnny Hendricks, and of course Misha Tate will all be there. Jesus, that's an amazing lineup.
Yep, the whole crew will be there today. So it was awesome. We did LA yesterday. Place was packed. Tons of fans showed up. It was good. People were going crazy. So if you're not doing anything, or
I don't think you have to promote it. I think
leave work today and come on down.
A lot of people are going to be at the Theater 1 o'clock.
I'd like to be introduced to Misha Tate.
Yeah,
I like her. She have a gentleman friend, maybe?
She does, but
you can't hit on a girl in the UFC. What do I have to offer?
Please.
Ronda Rousey was in, and she was very conversational, and someone's like, "Hey,
she was great.
What am I going to say to her?
Yeah.
You want to go to the beach and be embarrassed by me?"
Well, we got to take a break.
guy.
We actually got Anna Gunn coming in, too.
Yes,
if you want to stick around,
Breaking
you're
Bad.
more than welcome, Dana. It's up to you,
She's
brother.
from, she's one of the co-stars of Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, everybody talks about that show, man.
Yeah, it's huge.
Like, everybody's addicted to that show.
It's huge.
Oh, wait, was it birthday today?
That was my birthday yesterday or the day before. July 28th, whenever that was my birthday.
I don't
days
feel
now.
bad knowing if you don't. Bob Kelly has texted and he said it was Dana White's birthday. You should say happy birthday. So happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's great.
Yes. All right.
Cool, man.
We're going to continue maybe with Dana White, maybe not.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Thanks.